What's going on, Boston Celtics fans? Welcome into Celtics Today by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Allie Barefoot, and on today's episode, I will be answering your questions on this question and answers video. First and foremost, thank you guys so much for tuning in, for subscribing to the channel, and ultimately just asking us questions. You know, obviously, this channel is for the fan, which is just what I am. So I talk, you guys talk, and then we talk about it. That's how our show goes. And I know there's a couple of implications still. We are waiting to see what the Boston Celtics' next move will be in the NBA Cup, but once that does come out, I will update you guys as soon as I know. But I figured, hey, why not go ahead and answer some of your questions here today? All right, let's go ahead and jump into our first one here. Let's talk about Not So Anonymous. JB's been looking good past couple of games with a healthy KP. Do you think he gets his name put in the MVP conversation? Maybe not win it, but I could see a scenario where both Jays make a case. So I do think that if any season Tatum has fully put his name into the MVP races this year. I mean, he's averaging almost 30 points a game. He's been leading the Boston Celtics for the first 15, 16 games without Porzingis there. But yes, I do see your point in that Porzingis makes it a little bit harder now for Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown to possibly make a name for themselves. I do think that Jaylen Brown has been a huge contributor on offense for the Celtics so far this year. And, you know, he does tend to always show up when it comes to the clutch as well. But Porzingis now taking away those reps, now taking away those shots, will tend to make it a little bit harder for either player to make it far in the NBA MVP conversation. Because when you do look at a player like Jaylen Brown right now, he's having a hell of a season, averaging 25 points a game, 6.5 rebounds. That 25 points per game right now is tied for 13th in the NBA. He is averaging 4.5 assists, and he's shooting 44% from the field goal. So I do think that Jaylen Brown, if he continues to play this way, he can at least be in some kind of top 10 conversation for sure. But the way that Tatum's been playing, I think he's kind of clear-cut solidified himself to be somewhat of a finalist in the MVP conversation later this year. So I do want to go on ahead and ask you guys this quick question here real quick. Can Jayson Tatum win the 2025 MVP award? Type Y for yes, type N for no in the comment section. I absolutely think he can win it. I think that he has upgraded his game, especially on offense, and I think that if he was ever going to win it in any year, it would be this one. But you guys are about to get hit with the YouTube ad break, so before you guys click out of this video, sit through the ad break. We have a couple more questions to get through. I promise it won't be that long. Just go down now in the comment section, spend some time by answering this question. Type Y for yes, type N for no, and don't hesitate. Put a little detail in there if you guys haven't already. All right. Next one coming in here from Shy Jr. Celtics. What record do you think the Celtics will be in their last 64 games now that they got Porzingis back? At the moment, they are 15-3, and we did, of course, he did send this question before the Boston Celtics did go on to defeat the Chicago Bulls. I still stand by it. I think they are a flat 60-win team. Flat 60-win. I think Porzingis obviously does elevate their play tremendously. I mean, Porzingis is a cheat code, an absolute cheat code. So when you do add in Porzingis, I think that there are 3 levels that it really helps on. It helps on offensive rebounding. It helps on easy passing and easy scoring, knowing that you've got a 7'3" center standing in the middle of the paint. It's an easy lob. You've seen that several times. And then, of course, Porzingis, being a 3-level scorer himself, can put it off the glass, can have a nasty jumper from the elbow, and then obviously can drain it from 29 feet. So I will still call them a 60-flat win team, but you guys can be the judge of that. Let me know what your final record prediction for the Boston Celtics will be in the comment section down below. All right, I got another one coming in here from J-Boy Vibes. He said, do you think Tatum has what it takes to win MVP? So let's go on ahead and discuss this a little bit more. We just talked about Jaylen Brown and if he could possibly have his name in the MVP conversation. So you look at Brown's stats, right? 6.5 rebounds, 4.5 assists, 25 points per game. But then you look at Tatum's. He is 6th in points per game right now in the NBA with 28.4. He is tied for 23rd in the NBA with 8.2 rebounds per game. So he's about a rebound and a half off from averaging a double-double. 27th in assists with 5.8, and then he's shooting 45% from the field. Not to mention you tag on his three-point shooting right now, which is 37.3%. I mean, there is no no debate that through 18 games, Jayson Tatum looks like the best version of himself. And we know that in the offseason, he really worked on himself. He wanted to make sure that he was going to be the most efficient scorer that he could be from all three levels. I think Tatum has taken the next step. I think that he has definitely gotten himself at least a shoo-in to be considered for the MVP a little bit more than he has in the past, even though he's always kind of been in that realm of MVP conversations. So I'm going to go on ahead and do one thing for you here. I'm just going to look up right after that ball game. I want to see what the odds are right now to win MVP, because right now I'm looking at Vegas, and their insiders do have plus 180 for Nikola Jokic. They have plus 300 for SGA, and then you have Jayson Tatum sitting right there at plus 425. So Tatum right now in terms of Vegas is third to win the MVP, and this is 18 games in. But if he keeps playing this way, and now with Porzingis back, the Celtics keep winning, that is going to help him a lot, because the Nuggets right now are not great. They are really not playing well. And then the OKC, they're definitely contenders, but the Nuggets right now are 6th in the Western Conference. Then you look at the OKC Thunder, and they're first in the Western Conference. So that's going to be tough for Jayson Tatum to compete with SGA, while the OKC Thunder is looking really good on the West Coast right there right now. I will have a couple more questions to answer here in just a moment, but before we hop into that, I do want to go ahead and tell you guys about our sponsor here on Celtics Today by Chat Sports. I'm talking about PrizePicks, the #1 daily fantasy sports app in America. If you guys aren't playing PrizePicks, what are you doing? Join over 10 million users, and you can sign up today. You can now win up to 100 times your money on PrizePicks with as little as 4 correct picks. Not to mention, you just picked more or less on at least 2 players, and you will have a shot to win that 100 times your cash. You can run your season all season long on PrizePicks. Just pick more or less on the players' projected stats, minimum 2 players, maximum 6 players, and that's how you guys can test your skills. PrizePicks also puts its members first, so all withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. When my PrizePicks hit, I know I can get my money in as quick as 15 minutes. And they are the only real money daily fantasy platform with an injury insurance policy. So your lineup stay and play even if one of your players does get injured. If your player leaves in the first half and doesn't return, PrizePicks will keep your lineup live. So if you guys think all of this sounds fine and dandy, which I know I do because I play literally every single game day, well, go on ahead and download the PrizePicks app. Use promo code CLNS to give you guys $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. Download the PrizePicks app. Use promo code CLNS. This will give you guys $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks, run your game. This question kind of ties into the last one here, talking about the MVP odds for Jayson Tatum. It does kind of correlate a little bit to how the Celtics will do throughout the rest of their season. Well, SGA and the OKC Thunder, they're also going to do pretty well. So now I have a question here from Bella. I could have just said that completely wrong. I apologize. Do you think the Celtics will be better now with Kristaps Porzingis, and do the Celtics have a chance to win back-to-back titles this season? #1, yes, they absolutely had the chance. They have one of the best chances I have seen since the 2017-2018 Golden State Warriors when they went back-to-back. The roster's the same. The team looks just as lethal. Kristaps Porzingis and that dominant win over the LA Clippers showed us that the Celtics are the best team in the Eastern Conference. Their record right now might not look like it because of the Cleveland Cavaliers. That's okay. It's 18 games into the season. I think Porzingis is an absolute cheat code. I think he unlocks a new level of the Celtics. And something that I really noticed here, just from the standpoint of when Porzingis does play, is that you get to see a lot more open shots from JB, Drew Holiday, and Derek White, specifically in the corner, because now you have another player to guard Porzingis in all 3 levels of scoring. Jayson Tatum doesn't have that responsibility as much as when Porzingis doesn't play, because Tatum, being 6'9", does play a little bit harder in the paint, knowing that Kristaps Porzingis wasn't there. But now 7'3" is back in the lineup. Jayson Tatum can now do other things with his game, whether it's 3-level scoring, whether it's just trying to be more of a facilitator. He can get back to that role that he had last year. And then, of course, Derek White, Payton Pritchard, Drew Holiday. It just opens up that perimeter, because a lot of players do have to take that extra length to guard Kristaps Porzingis down low. So, yes, I do think that Porzingis just makes him 10 times better. All right, I have one more question. I have 2 more questions here. Speaking of Kristaps Porzingis, Fortune 5 coming in, how do you think Porzingis will be this season? And how much do you think he will help us? Well, I have seen Kristaps Porzingis now play 2 ball games so far this season. He was absolutely dominant in his season opener. He did have 16 points and 8 boards going up against the Los Angeles Clippers. But then when he played against the Chicago Bulls the other night, he played 2 extra minutes. He played 25 minutes against the Bulls, and he played 23 minutes against the Clippers. And in those 25 minutes, he shot 40% from downtown, 2 for 5, 63% from the field. He had 21 points, 8 boards, 1 assist. I mean, he looks like he didn't skip a beat. And then when you do find out that he was looking good since Abu Dhabi, he said that this rehab was one of the easiest rehabs he has done because he just had the surgery and then it was just stay out the leg for a little while. Porzingis is like, yeah, I can scooter around. That's fine. And then he got back to work. I think that he is a missing link. I've said this since they traded for him last offseason, 2 off seasons ago. He's the missing link. He helps out everybody. He helps the flow of the Celtics offense. He definitely helps on defense with his rim protection at 7'3". Don't get me wrong, Kata and Horford are great, but my goodness, Porzingis, there's a reason why they call him the unicorn. It's because they just don't make him like that, and he just seems like a fairy tale. Last question coming in from Shar Johnson. Celtics, Allie, do you think PP should be a starter or a bench player? He should be a bench player. Does that mean he doesn't have the skills to start? Absolutely not. Pritchard is absolutely dominating right now. But I do think he would be a starter on any other ball team, but you're probably not going to start Pritchard over Holiday or Derek White. You're just not. You got a 2 all-defensive NBA backcourt right there. I mean, they're absolutely phenomenal. Payton Pritchard, he is an absolute shoo-in for 6th man of the year. And you can't get that if you're a starter. So I think that that's what he's going for this year. I mean, he's shooting 15% off the bench. Excuse me. That's terrible. He's making 15 points per game off the bench. He's shooting 47% from the field, which is a lot better than 15%. 2.6 rebounds and almost 3 assists. So Payton Pritchard has really started to find his rhythm coming off the bench. And I've said this once, I'll say it before. Pritchard has this great gift that he can jump into the ball game and act like he had been playing the last 14 minutes. He comes right off the bench. He can immediately impact on offense and on defense. He's one of the best offensive rebounders I have seen on the Celtics backcourt this season. And I think that's huge coming off the bench is that you want a player that can continue the flow of game even if he hasn't been playing. He doesn't need to warm up. He doesn't need to take 3 shots for the 4th one to fall. That's a true gift from Pritchard, so I think that having him coming off the bench is what makes Celtics so lethal. Guess what? You just played the starting 5. Here come the sub. It's Pritchard who can drain it from anywhere on this court. He's also averaging 43% from downtown so far. That's awesome. So I do think Payton Pritchard should still come off the bench. Like I said, he could be a starter pretty much anywhere, but I think he really enjoys his role, and man, oh man, is he good at his role. So my question here for you guys is, should Pritchard start or come off the bench? Type S for start, type B for bench. Let me know in the comment section down below. Thank you guys so much for tuning in this mailbag. I'll have another one next month, but nonetheless, enjoy your weekend. And as always, go Boston Celtics.